Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 25, Page 7 and 8. If a person who are very serious about being liberated from material life, hear the glories of Anantadev from the mouth of spiritual master, in the chain of disciplic succession, and if they always meditated upon Sankarshan, Lord enters the core of their hearts and quenches all the dirty contamination of the material modes of nature, and the cause to the pieces the hard knot within the heart, which has been tied tightly since time immemorial by the desire to dominate material nature through fruitive activities. Narada Muni, the son of Lord Brahma, always glorious, Anantadev in his father's assembly, there he sings blissful verses of his own composition, accompanied by his stringed instrument or a celestial singer known as Tamburu. Purport. None of these descriptions of the Lord Anantadev are imaginary. They are all transcendently blissful and full of actual knowledge. However, unless one hears them directly from a bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession, one cannot understand them. This knowledge is delivered to Narada by Lord Brahma and the great Saint Narada. Along with the companion Tumburu, they distributes it all over the universe. Sometimes the Supreme Personality of Godhead is described as Uttama Sloka, one who is praised by beautiful poetry. Narada composes various poems to glorify the Lord Ananta. Therefore, the word Samslokayamasa, praised by selected poetry, is used in this verse. Vaishnavas in the Gaudiya Sampradaya belong to the disciplic succession stemming from Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is the spiritual master of Narada. Narada is spiritual master of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva brought Srimad Bhagavatam as a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. Therefore, all the devotees in Gaudiya Parampara accept the activities of Lord Ananta related in the Srimad Bhagavatam as authentic. They are thus benefited by going back home, back to God. Contamination in the heart of conditioned soul is like a huge accumulation of garbage created by three modes of material, especially modes of Rajan, Tamas, Ignorance. These contaminations become manifest in the form of lusty desire, greed for material possession. As confirmed herein, unless one receives the transcendental knowledge in the disciplic succession, no question of becoming purified of this contamination. That's La Prabhupada. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Vedanta Sri Prabhupada. अमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सोऽयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवं च निरूपं सग्रजातं सगणशिरघुनाथं विकन्तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं राधा कृष्ण पादान सगन ललिता श्री विशाखं विकं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनी विशाभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यः वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णा प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत राधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। So Hare Krishna, we'll go back to the verse 525, sorry, 524. Five 24:9. So 8. So thank you very much for attending Srimad Bhagavatam. So Hare Krishna. So today we will be talking about this glories of Anantadev. Here he says that Prabhupada, sometimes the Shastra glorifies this Lord, Supreme Lord, because Supreme Lord called Uttama Sloka Bhattaya. So his choicest word. Sometimes people say exaggeration. I remember in Norris Road, one of the Odia professor from NUS, his name is Farsam Sahu. So he told me that after reading Chaitanya Chaitamrita, he gave a comment. Hare Krishna was sound. Why the sound coming? Because every time when you start the Srimad Bhagavatam, you should always glorify the Bhagavatam. Then we understand the value of Bhagavatam. Nigamakalpatalu, what is that? Dharma projita kaitavatra param nirmasaranam satam yadyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapakramanam Srimad Bhagavatam Mahamuni Kate Kimba Parerishwara Sadhya Udata Varudate Atra Kititi Vishusvita Tasam Nigamakalpatalu Galitam Phalam Sukamukadam Rita Darpa Samjutam Pivatam Bhagavatam Alayam Muhuraho Russasikum. Even liberated soul also in wishes. कृष्ण सुधाम उपगते धर्म ज्ञान आदि विषा कलु नष्टदृश्यम इसम पुनारक पुराणक अधीना in Kali Yuga the dharma is took shelter after the Lord departs in Srimad Bhagavatam. He appears as a brilliant sun to dissipate, particularly in the age of Kali, those who have lost their eyes, spiritual vision. So we should know that, otherwise we will not have interest. Why this Bhagavatam is same line? Something. Anastha upasamam sakyat bhakti yoga adakya. Anastha upasamam, what is that? Anastha upasamam, no. Anastha upasamam sakyat bhakti yoga adakya. As a lokosya jnata vidwan chakare sakastha samita. Anastha upasam. Today also the same word. Fruitive activity. People are is engaged in fruitive activity. As a result, they are rotting and rotating in this obnoxious material world. So there is a Bonafide hearing is very important. So this for Bhagavatam. Should be serious about Bhagavatam, not that it's just like a Bhagavatam class. Yes. Bhagavatam sarva vedanta sara ye. Dasyang bhai sriyamanam Krishna parama purushe bhakti utpadate punsam soko moha bhayapa. Bhakti is main thing. How it will develop. Today also the purport also Prabhupada saying now how you get this all this contamination. Nasta prayesu, abhadresu. Abhadra means all contamination, inauspiciousness. All this most of material nature will be vanquished by hearing Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Last class, one of the this Chaitanya Chaitamrita class, somebody, I think Dimtri Prabhu, somebody asked me question. Sometimes we are interested in hearing. Sometimes we are not interested in hearing. Or most of the time we are not interested in hearing. Why? He was asking me. Well, this is called naistiki, anaistiki bhakti. Naistiki means fixed. Every day. Prabhupada given many lectures. And sometimes we read and after get relaxed with YouTube. Get relaxed with something which is social media. That is not naistiki bhakti, anaistiki. As Prabhupada used to say, Srimad Bhagavatam, now I dried my mouth, let me have smoke. This is not the proper way of presenting Bhagavatam or cultivating Krishna consciousness. It should be naistiki, fixed up, not tired 24/7. That can be only possible when you hear regularly, attentively. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahamuni, what is that? Sarva Vedanta Sara. Srimad Bhagavatam is said. Srimad Bhagavatam actually Vaishnavanam Priya. We are claiming as Vaishnavas. He says that Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Jasmin Paramahansam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Paramadyate. Jnanam Viragam Bhakti Saita Naiskramyam Aviskrutam Sravanam Supathanam Vicharanam Karo Bhaktya Vimuchyate Nara. By Sravanam Supathanam, study, Vicharanam, Mananam, contemplating, then only one can liberate. So we should not take it Krishna Tulya Bhagavata. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarva Asraya Prati Shloke Prati Akre Nana Jivera Nistara Lagi Sutra Kaile Vasa Maya Bata Sunile Hoy Sarvana Maya Bata Vasa Sunile Sarvana. यहाँ भागवत पढ़ वैष्णव स्थाने एकांत आश्रय करे चैतन्य चरण. Otherwise Bhagavatam cannot be grasped. It is Paramahansam Sahitam Samhitam. Paramahansam is Nirmat Saranam Sutam. So therefore we have to attentively hear. So here he says that if a person who are very serious about liberated from the material life, hear the glories of Anantadev from the mouth of spiritual master. Sometimes they say that exaggeration. He said that devotee said that he because he offended that, and he was not there for so long. Nourish wrote 20 years back. I still remember he was a professor. Still is coming to our Ratha Yatra. Sometimes we go to Utkal Divas. We see him. Told is the over exaggeration. This glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, see Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, when he was describing the nectarian pastime of Chaitanya Chaitamrita, so he was first starting with Siddhanta, the first 14 verses. Yesterday, I think I saw the video. Only 14 verses, but you should understand why this 14 verses is important. This 14 verses establishing the Siddhanta path, then Rasa. Siddhanta is very important. That Siddhanta should be established through the Parampara system. Otherwise, we say that, oh Lord, glorification is annoying. This is very over exaggerations. Hyperbolic. And no, it is because he is inconceivable. He can do. Therefore, to get the faith, otherwise we will have a faithless, doubting soul. Krishna said, doubting soul means he will be lost. So he will question the authenticity of veracity of bona fideness of the Shastra, Sadhu and Guru. Therefore, parampara is very important. To hearing, to bona fide hearing is important to implant the faith strongly. Otherwise, you will think that, oh, this Chaitanya Chaitamrita, how we create a mango tree. That's so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Balya Leela. For all this is miraculous. All these activities. All the activities are miraculous. 2 thieves took away and again sent back. So in the Brahmana is eating, immediately is coming and eating. So many pastimes. So how you reconcile? Therefore, we should hear Lord's Adbhuta Karmana. Harer Adbhuta Karmana. So Lord activities are wonderful. There's a beautiful verse is there. Adbhuta Karmana. 11:3:29. No. Shravanam Kirtanam Dhyanam Harer Adbhuta Karmanam Janma Karma Gunanam Cha Tadate Akhila Chestita. So here it is said that one should hear, glorify, meditate upon the wonderful transcendental activities of the Lord. One should specially become absorbed in the appearance, activities, quality of the holy name and holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus inspired, one should perform up all of one daily activity is enough, offering to the Lord. So that is the thing, Adbhuta Karmana. So Anantadev is how he is intoxicating, how he is everything. Everything you should understand through Shastra Chakusha. When you say Shastra Chakusha means Parampara. What we see through our mind. We do not see through Chakusha. Our seeing is erroneous, blunder, because our seeing is not perfect unless we see through the Shastra. Therefore, Prabhupada is mentioned that the glories of Anantadev should be heard through the Shastra Chakusha. Otherwise, somebody say, why the God is drinking liquor and wrong. Baruni. Balaram used to take that wrong. He is not, what is that called? McDowell. And all this brand, Baruni. That is transcendental liquor. And this intoxication, this thing is all we think that Lord also drinking. Lord is a drunkard, we also become drunkard. So this is the thing. Lord is taking ganja, we also take ganja. Like Lord Shiva, all Shiva devotee. Even in Jagannath Puri also, Lord Jagannath every day before sleeping, 36 pan he used to take, bitter. Every prasadam after pan will be offered to Lord. So many times. So, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forbade us to take pan. So this is the thing. So therefore we should follow the parampara system. Without parampara, even Arjuna also in the beginning, that is called Bonafide Hearing. Without Bonafide Hearing, Arjuna also in this very beginning also, he also said that I have heard from the parampara. Uchchana kula dharma manusyam janardana narake nityam vasa bhavati anususuma. Anususuma means disciplic success. So he also told that, oh Krishna, maintainer of people, I am heard by disciplic succession. See, hearing from disciplic succession called Bonafide hearing. Then only we can understand, we can implant the faith. Otherwise, if anybody do not read it and no, I will read myself without disciplic succession, they will think that, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like over exaggeration. No, Krishna Bhagavatam is over exaggeration. Bhagavad Gita is like this. So it is something imaginary, they will say. Prabhupada is writing, it's not imaginary. So therefore you should hear more. Because why you should hear, that I will come to later. But first of all, you should see that how Arjuna also hearing. Krishna also say, Bhagavad Gita, forgot one verse is there, where Krishna say, I also refer Vedanta. Can you check that what is the verse? Krishna say, one verse Krishna say, he referred to Vedanta. He said, Aham Vedavid Vedanta Krit. I am the compiler. Still I am referring Vedanta. 323, worry. Chapter 9, No, that is okay. No, that is nice. He is. In the purport, he also referred to Vedanta. Not purport, the verse. Yeah. So here also Krishna say, Evam parampara patha imam rajurishya buddha. So if the knowledge is received through parampara, otherwise knowledge has no meaning. Parampara vina mantra hi nispala. If you do not receive the knowledge through the parampara system, you go and buy Bhagavad Gita and read, cannot understand. I remember I was going train to Orissa. I met many people and one of them is very scholar in Bhagavad Gita, but without disciplic succession. He do not know what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Finally, when he was defeated arguing, he told, but how? It's very easy. Our small kids also, they know better. I mean, they know better than them. One time Prabhupada, one Vedantist came and Prabhupada was discussing. No, Prabhupada said that Krishna is very Vedanta, it's very difficult to understand Krishna. Then Prabhupada called Saraswati, one of our devotees' daughter. Saraswati, who is Krishna? Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. No Prabhupada, what no Prabhupada? The conclusion is the same of Vedanta. So, this is the conclusion of Veda. 13.5, yes. See, therefore parampara is important. How the small child also, therefore one thing about Hare Krishna movement, because we are receiving the knowledge from the Prabhupada, disciplic succession, Bonafide hearing, our small children can beat big. You see YouTube, big popular yogi and so-called spiritualists, they will be defeated by our kids because we are receiving the Bonafide disciplic succession. It's a Bonafide hearing. 13.5 Bhagavad Gita. See here it is said that Rishivi Bahuda Gitam Chandovir Vividheya Prithat Brahma Sutra. This is Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra Padesh Chaiva Etum Vadir Vinishchitahe. So here Krishna, the knowledge of the field of activities, of knower of activity, described by various sages, various Vedic writings, especially presented in Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning and as to cause and effect. So this is here Krishna is referring Vedanta Sutra. See, they're very much important. Authority, no. See, Prabhupada is writing that the super soul, by referring to a scripture, the Vedanta, which is accepted as authority. See, here it is Krishna himself. Without Vedas, there is no question of authority. Our authority is Veda. Vedanta Sutra is coded. Without authority, we do not have any standing. We do not have any loco standi. Our proposition is useless. What is the value of proposition? Therefore, in Vedic conversation, every statement should be backed up by, corroborated by Vedic statement. Every statement, every proposition should be corroborated. Otherwise, they are useless. What is the authority? Therefore, when Prabhu used to give class and somebody asks question, somebody tells something to answer, Prabhu, where? Immediately. He'll say something from where? So where means fasting, you have to give a evidence from Sabda Pramana. You cannot be Pratyaka, Parakhya, Sabda Pramana, Brahma, Sabda Brahma. So Sabda Brahma is Vedic evidence. Without Vedic evidence is useless. Anybody can anything. Everybody had Nana Munair. So everybody has got everybody with opinion. A Muni cannot be. Na asau Rusir. Vivinna matam. Matam mi vivinna. Na asau Rusi. Na asau Rusi means a Muni cannot be a Muni, a philosopher, without become, without disagree with another Muni opinion. That is the thing. So therefore, main thing is conclusion is that you should hear Bonafide Hearing from the Sadhu Shastra book. So therefore here it is said that another places also it is said that 1324. So Yayavam Vetim Purusham Prakritim Suguneisa Sarvatra Vitamanampi Naso Vya Vijayate. So here it is said Krishna, one who understands this philosophy concerning material nature and the interest. No, 13. Where is this verse where he say that 22? No. 1326 regarding this hearing Bonafide. 1326. Yes. So here it is said that anyatu evam ajnata sutva anyebhyo upasate tevi cha iti taranti evam uttam shruti parayana. So this is very important verses. Krishna says again there are those who although not conversant in spiritual knowledge begin to worship Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others because of the tendency to hear from authorities. See, Prabhupada's writing is so, translation is so wonderful. Purport is wonderful. Tendency to hear from authorities means what? Bonafide, disciplic succession. Without disciplic succession, we cannot. They also transcend the path of birth. So how important this is. Even you see Parampara hearing is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You see this Chaitanya Chaitamrita, a very fast verse. What is the fast verse? Gaura Purnima is not celebrated watching the drama, having Ekadashi Prasadam. This is not the real proper celebration of Gaura Purnima is to spiritually nourish through the Chaitanya, teaching of Chaitanya Chaitamrita, the mood of Chaitanya Chaitamrita, the characteristic of Chaitanya Chaitamrita. Charita Amrita, nectarian pastime, characteristic of Chaitanya means, what is Chaitanya? Living force. Chaitanya is supreme living force, personification of living force, or immortal also, Prabhupada sometimes. Nectarian pastime. So the first verse he say that is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami opening the spiritual, opening Chaitanya Chaitamrita with the Bande Sri Guru. First Bande Sri Guru, then Isa Bhakta. First of all Sri Guru. When he says Sri Guru, he is taking these two things. And he is telling that Parampara is very Shikya Guru, Dikya Guru. That means Parampara is very, very important. CC Adi 144. I remember because I am giving this. So here it is said that very important verse. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Soyam Bhagavan Tahara Padara Vinde Ananta Pranam. Say in this verse 46, 47, he is saying that although I know that my spiritual master is servitor of Sri Chaitanya, I know him also a plenary expansion of the Lord. So this Sri Guru, he is glorifying Guru because Gurus are non-different from the Acharya. He's giving, Sri Chaitanya Chaitamrita author is giving so many verses to explain that how parampara is essential. Acharyam mam vijaniyam. He is quoting these verses that Acharya is non-different. So therefore the Guru means multiple. Guru is one. Guru is two types, Diksha and Shiksha. You can have one Diksha Guru but multiple Shiksha Guru. And both can bring back to God. Where is Parikshit Maharaj initiated by Shukadev Goswami? He is Shiksha Guru, bring us to God back to Godhead. There are so many examples that where the Shiksha Guru also is same. Both are the same manifestation of the mercy. So therefore, disciplic succession is very, very important. And even in second chapter is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's what is that? Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the proof? What is the proof? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is whole. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the second chapter of Chaitamrita is proving the parampara is essential. He is the Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is giving that how Lord Brahma is explaining that who is the source of Narayana. Everybody say Narayana. So here he says that how Brahma, the authority, is speaking about the things. All the living beings within the material world and spiritual world are ultimately born of you. You are the super soul of them all. So he is establishing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he is giving so many parampara. So we should get the knowledge from parampara. Our Chatusloki Bhagavatam also start with all parampara. What is that verse? 2, 3, 91. What is that? Chatusloki 2, 9, 31, starting 9. So all the 31 to 30, 33, but 31 to 30, where the parampara system is very important. So hearing from the parampara system. Otherwise, Jnanam Parama Guhyam, the personality of God, let's say about knowledge about me described in the scripture is very confidential. It has to be realized in conjunction with devotional service. This necessary paraphernalia for that process is being explained by me. You may take it up. So this knowledge is very, very confidential. It has to be received through disciplic succession in conjunction with devotional service. Even the Kaviraj Goswami says that Satat, what is that 10:10? Tesam Satat Juktanam Bhajatam Piti Purvakam. Dadami Buddhi Jogam. That Buddhi Yoga is given by Krishna, all is represented. So therefore, the Bonafide hearing is very, very important. Without Bonafide hearing, one cannot advance in Krishna consciousness. One cannot, because this fruitive activity, the greed, the loss, the all, what Prabhupada used the purport, garbage, mountain of garbage accumulated since time immemorial. How to cleanse the process without hearing? Therefore, in the very beginning, Sutta Goswami is saying that very nice verse, this one. One to 12. Tasradana munaya jnana vairagajitya paschanti atmani cha atmana bhaktya sutta grihitaya. So very, very good. Bhaktya sutta grihitaya is very important. So the hearing should be done. That absolute truth is realized by seriously inquisitive student or say who is well equipped with knowledge, who has become detached by rendering devotional service. And hearing the Vedanta Shruti. Prabhupada is writing that absolute truth is realized fully by process of devotional service to the Lord Vasudeva or the Personality of God, who is fruit present, Brahman effulgent. Prabhupada said that one should get it from the Vedanta Shruti. Prabhupada writing in the purport that one should realize. See, Prabhupada is writing that Sutta most preach the call of devotional service for all around benefit of the people. A neophyte devotee is a very little taste for hearing from the authority. So you want to be remain in the same spiritual level, bath after bath, life after life, or in this life year after year, then better do not hear. Rupa Goswami said, do not go to the Kasi Ghat. You don't see Govinda if you have some desire. So why we are not interested? Because Nirbhita Serupagiya Manan. Nirbhita Trissa. Trissa means what? Hankering. Nirbhitra means finish. So when our material hankering finish, then we will love to hear. Oh, now my wife done and dusted, my children done and dusted. Then as long as you have this material hankering, I want to improve my material conditioning in the society of my friend. What is that Vidyapati is singing? That Tatala Saikate Sutamita Ramani Samadhi. So if you want to continue, to say material hankering with your wife, children, society, etc., then that is not possible. To say, Prabhupada very nice way. See, Prabhupada lectures are very important because where you can understand pinpoint thing, why I am not interested in that. Because I am already harboring some desire, hankering Krishna. Nirbhitati sirupagiya manan bhavo sado ustamana virama. Then only we can really hear it. That also how hearing Bonafide source hearing, not like in here. They are also say Bonafide hearing. Without Bonafide hearing, you cannot see the Krishna. You cannot advance. 10:14:3 also there. 10:1:4 is there. Since Nibbidati Sirupagiya Manan Bhavo Sudu Sutta Monovirama Kautama Sloka Gunanubhadat Uman Viradete Vinapus. So translation is glorification of Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in Parampara system. See, without Parampara system, there is no glorification. Satam Prasangam Mama Virya Sambinda. You cannot expect Krishna Katha from a Karmi, for a Jnani, from a Panwala, from a Panipuri Wala. You should hear in association of devotees. Satam Prasangam Mama Virya Sambinda, or professional recite. So the glorification of the Supreme Lord only performed in the Parampara system. Then only it is effective. Otherwise, no effective. Chiran Vichinban. You can go on hearing for lifelong, so many years. This Baba, that Baba, nowadays YouTube. Secretly, devotees are secretly hearing. But that will not help you. Prabhupada is the base, foundation, fundament. Even other acharyas also. Other acharya. Even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, you cannot understand. Prabhupada said, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is written for me, not for you. You cannot understand, you cannot overstate. Prabhupada is the basis of everything. How to preach, you can learn from Prabhupada. How to execute devotional service, you can learn from Prabhupada. Through Prabhupada, you can learn Acharya. You cannot get the Sandarbha books. You can understand Sandarbha. Chaitanya Chaitamrita is also very difficult to understand. Only Prabhupada. Prabhupada made it very, very simple, very authentic. Purport given, very nicely presented, translation everything. So through Parampara system only, that is the current link, Bonafide Parampara. You can say Acharya is also, Rupa Goswami books also okay, but they are Acharya. They are Acharya, their books are transcendental. But it has to be understood through the Parampara system, through the Srila Prabhupada. You think that you yourself, you will interpret. You will interpret their Acharya books also. So therefore the Bonafide hearing, it is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is released, no longer interested in false temporary glorification of cosmic manifestation. So then only we will stop hankering. I will develop the taste only by hearing from the, otherwise, why I am not interested in material hankering is there. As long as we have material hankering, my wife, my children, my job, my investment, my properties, and thinking of how to 10 years plan of my increasing my bank balance, India now 70 plus. Let me invest in Singapore. India now 70 plus. After many years, it will be 100 plus, the conversion rate. Then he will be thinking, oh, let me think of how to invest wisely. No. Then you are lost. You are not in the spiritual realm. You are motivated devotee. Or is there devotee, but in third class? In the neophyte, they are not interested in releasing Krishna Katha from us. They do not like. because they have still anchoring, therefore neophyte. Therefore, Sususya Sadadhanasya Bhagavad Katha Ruchi. So we have to be Sususya Sadadhanasya Bhagavad Katha Ruchi. Vasudeva Katha Ruchi, San Mahat Seva Vipra Punya Tirtha Nivasana. At twice one says, by serving those devotees who are completely free from all vice, great service is done. By such service one gets affinity for hearing the message of Vasudeva. How we do not get affinity? Why the sages are getting affinity? This what is that? Naimisarana sages headed by Saunik Rishi. Our is nobody interested hearing. What? But here Saunik Rishi is saying that we are not satiated. Very nice verse. Bayam tuna vyaktriya what is that? Vitripyama uttama shloka vikarme. Yes, mantra asagyanam sadhu sadhu pade pade. Every state, every word, they found sweet and sweet. Sadhu, sadhu, very tasty. Why they releasing? But we are not releasing. We are not hearing from discipline. We are not hearing sufficiently Prabhupada. Every day one must read one lecture at least Prabhupada. Every day. This is actually injunction of Prabhupada. See, as I told you, this all Gaura Purnima excitement is a one-day sentiment. It's not a one-day sentiment. One day we come, half day fasting, fast full day, not full day, up to evening fasting, then celebrating with Ekadasi Prasadam, watching nice drama, children drama, and what is that? Adult drama. The guy was same drama. So, okay, drama is okay, but that is the one-day sentiment. That is not proper celebration. The real celebration is this is immersed with this teaching of Chaitanya Chaitamrita. His mood, his mission, essence of how glorious he is, how magnanimous he is. This is the thing. Otherwise, this Gaura Purnima is one day, after one day finishing. After finishing drama, nobody wants to even keep properly the props. Finish it, then go back. Tomorrow we have office now. So these things are because of material hankering. The sages are saying that how we never tire of hearing transcendental pastime of personality of Godhead, which is glorified by hymns and prayer. Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationship with Him, really sharing His pastime at every moment. Every moment. Even when Sukadev Goswami was hearing, Parikshit Maharaj was hearing, he was fasting for 7 days, 7 nights. 4th day, this Sukadev Goswami asked, why don't you take some water? So he answered like this. What putting? Because of my bhav on the verge of death, I have given up even drinking water. Yet because I am drinking the nectar about Krishna, which is flowing from the lotus mouth of the Lord's feet, my hunger and thirst, which are extremely difficult to hear, cannot hinder me. See, how the Bonafide hearing is so potent that even you forget even thirsty and that Parikshit Maharaj was caught because of he could not control the thirst. You remember, he went for hunting, could not control the thirst, put the dead snake on the Samik Rishi, and he was caused by his son Sringi. And that Parikshit Maharaj was caused by 7 days. Now he's saying that I am drinking the nectar of Krishna Katha, I am not thirsty. See why this transformation? Bonafide hearing. Next verse, next 10:1:16 is going. Next verse will go. If you say, Sukadev Goswami, most respectable devotee, the son of dāsa, had pious question of Maharaj Parikshit. He thanked him. This is different. Discuss on the topics concerning Krishna, which are remedy for all suffering in the age of life. So this Vasudeva Katha is not that one. This verse is very good, related verse. He says that Vasudeva Katha Prasna Purusantrin Punnati Bhaktram Prachaksham Sotrim Tat Pada Salilam Jata. So the Ganges emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu purify the 3 worlds, the upper, middle, lower planetary system. Similarly, when one asks question about pastime characteristic of Lord Vasudeva, Three varieties of men are purified: the speaker, preacher, and who inquires. These people in generally who listen. So therefore, this bona fide hearing is very important. Otherwise, you think that Chaitanya Lila is just like exaggeration. It's some kind of storytelling. No. Therefore, the very first 14 verses of Chaitanya Chaitamrita Adi, so Sukadev Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami established the Siddhanta. Who is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? What is his external region? What is his confidential region of advent? What is Nityananda Prabhu? This Anantadev, today we are reading is Anantadev. Sankarsan. Sankarsan Karanato Yadasai. Garbhodasai cha Paya Visai. Sesasa Ansasa Nitya. Sesasa Ansasa Kalasa Nityanandakam Rama Saranam Mamastu. So he is immediately saying that who is this identity? What is his mission? What is his activity? Then only in 13th chapter, he goes to describe the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastime. First, Siddhanta, then Rasa. Siddhanta Tattva. Without Siddhanta Tattva, if you see Krishna also, 7th chapter to 12th chapter, he starts with the Siddhanta, I am this, I am this. He is not boasting. Because without Siddhanta, without understanding him, how great he is, he will not surrender. Therefore, 647 say that the great yogi is who surrendered to him. But how to surrender to him? Without knowing his glories. Therefore, knowledge of the absolute, opulence of the absolute. All these verses are there. How to attain the supreme, confidential knowledge, opulence of the universal form. And all these things, why he is saying about him? I am the CEO, I am the boss. Wider the understanding, deeper the attachment. Fast Siddhanta, otherwise, Gaura Purnima is a one-day sentiment. Once a year, one-day sentiment. So, therefore, we should know the Siddhanta. That Siddhanta can be known by proper understanding from a bona fide hearing means disciplic success. Therefore, in 2nd chapter, when the Krishnadas Kaviraj establishing the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is giving so many verses. Etachancha Kala Krishna. Krishna is the Swayam Bhagavana. Krishna is the source of Narayana. That Krishna is Chaitanya Gosai. And he is telling that Siddhanta Boliye Chite Nakara Arasa. What is that word? Siddhanta Boliye Chite 67. No. What is that word? Siddhanta Boliye Chite Nakara Arasa. Ya hoite 266. 263. Or Sishyadi, sorry. Sishyadi should be 260 is 3. Let's see. 2117 is the first initial, the second time. Second time, this first time he spoke here. Where he spoke Siddhanta Boliye. Where is that word Siddhanta Boliye in Adi? Siddhanta Boliye Chite Nakara. So why is 117? Before that also there, no. Siddhanta Boliye Chite Nakara Rasa. Ya hoite Krishna lage Sudhidhanista. Why I am telling you to? Because to establishing that he is quoting so many verses from different Purana. You know how many verses of Chaitanya Chaitamrita? 11,555. 50 plus scripture he is referring. And there are 300, 800, 900 verses from different scripture. Bhagavatam, he quoted 390 verses. Therefore, Siddhanta Boliye Chite Nakara, so you should not be lazy, philosophical. Today's purport Prabhupada saying that this garbage will not go. The anartha upasamam sakya. Adau sata tatha sadhu sangha bhajana kriya. Then anartha, the bhajana kriya means bona fide hearing. Initiated by bona fide spiritual master and engaging in hearing Without that, one cannot get out from this anartha. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati say that without philosophy, this anartha kahan nahi jane. Anartha will not go. Therefore, philosophy, you should understand the philosophy. Here, Bonafide hearing. Very, very important. Therefore, Sususa Sadadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuti. How we can get Vasudeva Katharuti? Simply by hearing. Prabhupada given in this lecture. Simply by. Although he says Seva, Sususa Sadadhana Sevaya. Sevaya means here Prabhupada says that simply by association with the disciplic succession, Bonafide spiritual master, by hearing oral reception, by giving a oral reception, one can easily get out. Only oral reception. Nothing else. Wherever you are, particularly in Kali Yuga, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are, but simply just like Arjuna is hearing and transforming. One should hear. Jnana prayasa udapasya. All your so-called jnana you have got. That I have learned, I have read, I have learned, I have studied, I am a erudite scholar. You throw it. Jnana prayasa udapasya. Namante jivan jisan mukharitam. Bhavadiya Bhattam, very, very important line. Bhavadiya Bhattam is disciplic success. Hearing from a bona fide source. Unless you hear from a bona fide source, we cannot purify, we cannot go back. Sthane sita sutigatam tanuvanam yah prayasa jita adita api asittais trilokyam. So this is a very, very important verses because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know where this verses Mahaprabhu quoted? Jai Shri Radha Madan. Where Mahaprabhu quoted this verse? In what context Mahaprabhu quoted this verse? How many topics in Sisi Adi? How many in chapter? Madhya? Antya? One people out of it. Where it is quoted, this verse?
Actually, the discussion between Ramananda
It happened in what context?
What context? Like when he was asking, go higher and higher and higher. So that time, Ramananda says, whichever question you are,
this is the starting of our sadhana bhakti. So Mahaprabhu agreed to that. Yes, you execute Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Then only you will mature. When you mature, then you have the laulyam. Next is he quoted the verse laulyam. You will have Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous love. First you do that. Stane sthitam sutigatam. You throw out processive speculative knowledge with their body, what mind, for all respective description of personality of Godhead activity, dedicating their life to this narration which are vibrated by personally and by your pure devotees. By you personally, by your pure devotees. Certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. So you want to conquer. We have come here to conquer the Supreme Lord, which is unconquerable. Nobody can conquer him. What is that verse, Brahma Samhita? Panthastu koti satavatsaratam pragam vayu rathapi manasam manipanggaman sopyasti asti prapadasivni avichinta tattva. You cannot conquer Govindam. So how to conquer Govindam? Simply by bona fide hearing. By you, by your devotees. Without hearing, you cannot purify. Without purification, nobody can approach to God. Some Prabhupada was giving classes that verse 728. What is that 728 Bhagavad Gita? Jesam te antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvanda mohoni muktam bhadati mam duddhavatam. Krishna says, nobody can approach me with seriousness, sincerely, without getting rid of, free from all kind of papas, sin. So how to get rid of all free from sins? One should have a bona fide hearing. Prabhupada say in the lecture. I was stopped how Prabhupada is connecting from where and where. So antagatam papam means we should hear. We should hear from a bona fide source. Sinmatam Swatata Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana Udantastani Abhadrani. Abhadra, all kind of inauspicious. What is that Abhadra mean? What is Abhadra means? Abhadra, Bhadra means, Subhadra means what? Su means
Su means good.
Very so auspiciousness. So abhadra means inauspicious. What is the inauspicious in the heart? Contamination. What is this contamination? The modes of materialness. Particularly Rajaguna, Tamaguna. Sataguna are better, but still it is contaminated. So therefore, the contamination, as long as they are, how to purify? Without purifying, how to approach Lord? Lord says, Antagatam Papam, Desant Antagatam Papam, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram is Pavitram. Unless you pure, how can you approach the Supreme Pure? So therefore, to hear it. Therefore, the verse is that Nityam Bhavata Sevaya. See, this is not some kind of fancy verse that Sutta Goswami want to do it. So he knows that Nasta Prayashu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nasta means what? Destroyed. Sometimes when you go to pronounce Nasta, it's in Nasta. Nasta is a language in everywhere. Everywhere. Nasta means destroyed. No. Prayashu means almost all. Prabhupada says 75%. Because goodness is contamination. See, Avadreshu means all mode of goodness, pass in ignorance, particularly pass in ignorance. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya is very, very important. Why important? No, how it is related to Chaitanya Chaitamrita. So every scripture is so much related. The second verses of Adi, you know what is second verses of Adi? Second verses of the glorifying the Nityananda Mahaprabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are like sun and moon, which simultaneously appear. Sun and moon never appear simultaneously. They appear. What for? Dissipate the darkness. How dissipate the darkness? Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says they allow this thing, this verse, allow the Bhagavatam and Bhakta Bhagavatam and Book Bhagavatam. By the two process, by two process, we can go back to God. By Bhakta Bhagavana and Book Bhagavatam. Book Bhagavatam means this Bhagavatam, and Bhakta Bhagavatam means, Prabhupada has nicely translated. Bhakta Bhagavatam means who follows the book Bhagavatam sincerely. He is Bhakta Bhagavatam. So the Bhakta Bhagavatam by following, but that means hearing Bhagavatam. Yaha Bhagavata pada Vaishnavara sthane ekanta asra kari Chaitanya chara. Taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should hear Bhagavatam. Then only all the things will go away. Then how it will go away? It's very nice. This Tadaraj Tamo Bhava Kama Lobodaya Chete Charanamitam Titam Sate Krishna. All at the time of loving service is established in the heart. The modes of passion, rajas, ignorance, tamas, lust and desire disappear from the heart. Then devotee is established in goodness, he becomes happy. We come to the mode of goodness. So how we are, by hearing, we elevate ourselves. Last class also, I think Prabhu was giving 7-10, what is that? Lost, material lost, spiritual lost. He quoted the verses 11-13, how to come to mode of goodness. 11-13 only mode of goodness. So here same thing. Unless you come to mode of goodness, how can your mind is stabilized? Your mind is restless. Kama, Yeso, Krodho, Yeso, or passion, the greatest enemy, is stumbling blocks, is prohibiting us, is impeding us to advance in Krishna consciousness. So if somebody is not hearing, means Prabhupada say he is a disease, spiritually. It's not, it's a diagnosis. Now, okay, you are disease, feeling very spiritually, lack of enthusiasm, you are not hearing. Mind is restless. Therefore, Prabhupada said, one of the letter to his devotee, your mind is restless because you are not reading my books. You are going here and there. Japan and this thing, that thing. So in this way, if you hear properly, in this way, what will happen? Evam prasanna manasa bhagavat bhakti yogata bhagavat tattva vijnana mukta sanghasa. Then you can understand real science of God. Real science of Godhead by Bonafide Hearing. When you know the science of Godhead, then only you can God the knot. Vidyate hridaya granthi chidyantes sarva sansaya kiyanti tasya karmani drishtaiva manishwaraha. The knot of the heart and all misgiving are caught into peace. The chain of fruitive action is terminated when one sees the self as a master. See, Prabhupada in purport say our cause of the material bond is due to fruitive action. Because we are engaged in some fruitive action. I want to enjoy the desire. As long as we have this one, then we creating another set of reaction. Chain reaction. You do something, another reaction you have to take back. Again in that birth, again you do, again, then repetition of birth and death. That is called That is called 212. Transgression from one body to another body. That is stated in this. Narada Muni said that we create one setup, then again we create another setup. In this way, we are going on since time immemorial. I think this verse. As long as we desire to enjoy sense gratification, we create material activity. When living entity acts in the material field, he enjoys the senses. While enjoying the senses, he creates another series of material activity. See how the chain reaction. One activity leads to reaction. That reaction leads to again taking bath, again activities. In this way, living entity become entrapped as a conditioned soul. How one is entrapped? Because of this. As long as we have desire. So we have to first of all cleanse our heart. Krishna consciousness means purified mind and purified heart. Prabhupada given a nice step. Purification of the heart, purification of the mind. And without purification, he will sleep in the Bhagavatam class. How it is stated in this verse. Very nice. Prabhupada has given a purport. Here also say that all learned Brahmana, when Sukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam, they are in the presence of Emperor Parikshit. I heard him with rapt attention. Thus by his mercy I learned Bhagavatam from the great and powerful Siddha. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him, as I have realized. So, Prabhupada said that one can certainly see directly presence of Lord Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam, if one has heard it from a self-realized great soul like otherwise, Bhagavatam is exaggeration. Chaitanya Charitamrita is exaggeration. One cannot, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogo side reciter with the aim of life to earn some money. Therefore, disciplic succession is very important. See, Prabhupada says no one can learn Srimad Bhagavatam who is associated with a person engaged in chess life. That is secret of learning Bhagavatam. Nor can one learn Bhagavatam from one who interprets the text by mundane scholarship. One is to learn Bhagavatam from a representative of Sukadeva Goswami. No one else, if one at all wants to see Lord Krishna in the pages. This is the process. And there is no alternative. Sukadeva Goswami is a Bonafide representative of Sukadeva Goswami because he wants to present the very same message which he received from great learned Brahmana. Sukadeva Goswami presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from great father. So also Sutta Goswami is presenting Bhagavatam as he heard it from Sukadeva Goswami. Simply hearing not at all. One must realize the text with proper attention. See, you are hearing every Bhagavatam so much. So many people cannot even say what is the first verse of Bhagavatam. Memorize also. I am not taking speaking, understanding this. Huh? Then how a fumbling. If fumbling. The fast verse fumbling. Chaitanya says, I am not going. Already I asked. See, the fast verse also a fumbling to know this thing. And fast verse also establishing the supreme absolute truth, attribute of supreme absolute. So then how you understand this? All these things. So therefore attention is not there. Attention is there. There's an article I have sent, Vyasdev in Kudma Purana, he said that there are 4 kinds of hearing. Hearing attentively, like Chataka. Chataka is waiting patiently. The rain comes means, so you should get this essence with attentive hearing. Swan always, swan is meditating. When the peace will come immediately. See how much meditation. So there are 4 kinds of, hearing is there. Bonafide hearing. Out of 4, 3 is bonafide, 1 is not bonafide. So he was explaining that. So attentive hearing is very. And why one cannot be attentive? Tell me why one cannot be attentive. One should hear with rapt attention from a real person. Then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna. But why one cannot? Here Prabhupada says that no one can be this. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing and mating. Or somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention, the right person, at the very beginning one can ask for to see Krishna. See how much technicality is there. It's not like that, no, we come 10 years, 20 years, but I am still in the same class. Because the rapt attention comes, your mind is pure, your action is pure, your sleeping, mating, defending, all these things is pure. sense gratification is less. Nibhitati se rupagiyamana. That's why it's a nibhitati se. The hankering has to be subdued. The fever is subdued. The desire has to be subdued. Then only we can. But somehow or another, if you hear, automatically the purification will take place. You don't need to be externally do that, automatically. When you really wrap attention over here, I want to hear. The Prabhupada said that my Guru Maharaj saw me, that why he initiated me, because he saw me, I am sitting whenever he speaks. Other people will go out, but he will hear. Although he told, I am not able to understand what he is speaking. So high philosophy. Even in Bengali also I am not able to understand Prabhupada. Still, I like to hear. Simply sit down here. That is my qualification. My Guru Maharaj saw me. That boy is sincere. He is sitting down and hearing. Simply hearing with, anyhow in touch with this Bhagavatam, hearing is very, very important. So this is the thing where, therefore, all this great sages, great devotee, they are always hankering for that. My dear Lord, you are glorified by selected verses uttered by great personality. Such glorification of a lotus feet is just like a saffron particle. When transcendental vibration from the mouth of a great devotee carry the aroma of the saffron dust of a lotus feet, the forgetful living entity gradually remember his eternal relationship with you. Devotee thus gradually come to the right conclusion about the value of life. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction but opportunity to hear from the mouth of your pure. Every day you should hear Prabhupada class. Must one lecture. Otherwise, the transformation will not take place so easily. How much you hear? You are judged by your hearing, Bonafide. But judge will not say you are judged by your company. You are judged by your eating. You are judged by your hearing. Bhagavatam. That is true, you know. If time is not there, I have 100 verses from Bhagavatam to show you that how very important. You see here, oh my Lord, your devotee can see you through the years by the process of Bonafide hearing. See? Bonafide hearing. Thus their heart become clean, you take your seat there. See how important. Lord is not seen through the eyes. We come here, see the Lord, you know, or looking, see the Lord also. You should not see the Lord from the face, from the verse is there, 29, so 23 or something. So here you start with the lotus feet. So that will not purify, but purification takes place when you hear. Lord is seen through ears. Ear is the gateway to liberation, the expressway to go back to God. Bonafide, without bonafide hearing. Therefore, our small children also, they are very good because they have bonafide. They are better than big Swami, Yogis you see in the YouTube. And what is their knowledge? What they are speaking? Completely against the Shastra. Avari Rupa, Rupanu. Nana Shastra Vicharani Kasa Dharma Sanstapako. They are cultivated all the Shastra and the essence has been presented by Goswami. We are called Rupanu. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Rupa Raghunatha Pade, what is that? Koriyasa, Chaitanya Charitamrita kahe. No, this last verse. Every chapter in the last verse, he is praising the Rupa Raghunath because he is writing disciplic success. In there is a chapter has been dedicated that how he inspired to write. Chapter 8, Sishyadi, he told through the order of Parampara, order of Gurujan, Vaishnava and Madan Mohanji. Because when he was writing, about to write, he was thinking of writing, a garland fell down from the Radha Madan. So he thought this is the permission. Go ahead, green, go ahead, green light. So he started writing. So everything is traced to be parampara. Without parampara, we cannot. We cannot. Anybody who is not hearing from parampara, from reciter, Vaishnava Mukham Ginna, Harikatha, Utam Harikatha, Na Kartebya, Savanam Naiva Kartebya. You must not hear. Because although it is nectarian, Chaitanya Charitamrita, nectar, but that nectar, if it is touched by a serpent, it has a poisonous effect. Therefore, it is a poisonous effect. One should hear always from the bona fide source. So today's verses is that these glories of Anantadev, that has to be heard from a bona fide source. By bona fide hearing, one can easily understood the glory. Otherwise, the glories cannot be understood. Lord glories cannot be. Krishna says, Naham sarvasya prakasa yogomaya samad. Also in Kunti Maharani say that, Ma vachannika, I am now close by the curtain. You cannot understand me. You cannot see me. Only by hearing process. Through the process of hearing, one can see me. So therefore, in our Dham Jatra, we made mandatory speaking about the glories of the particular places. Because otherwise, Dham Jatra is like sightseeing. So without, therefore, therefore it is stated. So before winding, we will little bit of a strong word for the devotees. लीलामृत बिना खाए यदि अन्न पान तबे भक्तेर दुर्लभ जीवन यार एक बिंदु पाने उपथिल तनु मने हासे गाये कराये नर्तन. So here he says that men become strong and stout by eating sufficient grain, but the devotee who simply eats ordinary grain does not taste the transcendental pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna, gradually become weak, fall down from the transcendental portion. However, if one drinks but a drop of nectar of Krishna pastime, his body and mind begin to bloom, and he begins to laugh, sing and dance. All the devotees connected with Krishna consciousness movement must read all the books that has been translated. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and others. Otherwise, after some time, they will simply eat, sleep and fall down from their position. Thus, they will miss the opportunity to attain the eternal blissful life of man. So the choice is yours. You want to remain in the same class? After 20 years also, you will have only development is gray hair, nothing else. So if you want that, then it's good luck. If you want to really get out, then one must read, study this. And association of devotees studying is very important, discussion. Ishtagoshti is not there, means what Satang Prasanga Mamair is out. Without association of devotee and the discussion is not going on, then it is Prabhupada said that association of devotee. Why we coming to temple? Hearing is very important. Prabhupada created the center for this purpose of giving a bona fide hearing by the association. Prabhupada writing in the purport, to live with devotee or live in a temple means to associate with Shravanam Kirtanam. Sometimes, see, Shravanam Kirtanam. First starting with Sarvana Dasa. Bhaktivinoda Thakur say, we should start last person. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur say that this our thing is devotee should always see. He say that in the neophyte stage one should always engage in hearing Krishna Katha. This is called Shravana Dasa. This Rahu Dasa, Sani Dasa, Brihaspati Dasa. Say devotees has no other Dasa. They should follow this Shravana Dasa. Without Shravana Dasa, unless you are grasped by Shravana Dasa, all other, even Brihaspati Dasa also will not help you. Materially will give you some condo, some car, some bank balance, but will not give you this Krishna thing. The stage of hearing, by constantly hearing transcendental holy name of Krishna, hearing of his transcendental form, quality pastime, one can attain to the stage of acceptance for Bharana. Then it will improve. Really taste will come. And he becomes attached to hearing Krishna Katha. The Shravana Dasa will lead to Bharana Dasa. What is Bharana Dasa? The stage to attachment for hearing. You are mad after hearing. Like intoxicated beverage. Is a verse is there. I think I showed last time 10, 12, 7 to 11. So you say that like you should be intoxicated like a beverage. I'm drinking tea, coffee always. You should be intoxicated hearing. That is called Bharana Dasa. Who is writing this one? Vaikuntha men, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So they are fools of writing. They are giving the process. That our problem is that nothing wrong in the process. The process following the process. There is a mistake in the wrong in blunder in following the process. We do not follow the bona fide process. Every day to hear how Tathit Prabhu, every day he will hear it. 2 hours, 2 hours. If there is no class also. That you should develop. Otherwise, difficult. Otherwise, our chanting will not be proper also. Chanting, how to finish it. After that, no need to see these beats all day. But chanting will be very good. And also, we like to again chanting. That will come. As the verse is, unless one is very nice. Prabhupada said, unless one is understood Chaitanya Chaitamrita Bhagavatam with a Bonafide Hearing, one cannot have a offenseless chanting. The statement of Bhakti Siddhanta. Offensive chanting every day 16 rounds. Offenseless chanting means one should first understood this, assimilated Bhagavatam. Otherwise, very difficult. So, Chaitanya Chaitamrita, as I told you, this Gaura Purnima is approaching. So, do not celebrate Gaura Purnima watching drama, having Ekadasi Prasadam. That is not the real celebration. Means we should immerse in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastime. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastime is like a Amritara Sindhu. What is that verse? Amritara Sindhu. Mahaprabhu's Ei Mate. Where is Antya? She said that Sri Chaitanya Lila is Amritara Sindhu. Tri Jagate Bhasyate Pare Yara Eka Bindu. The activity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was just like an ocean of nectar. Even a drop of this ocean can inundate all three worlds. How powerful. And we should hear Chaitanya Chaitamrita. See, Chaitanya Chaitamrita, he says that you should hear. Very, very important. He says that Sunile Khandibe Chitera Ajnanadi Dosa Krishne Gadha Premo Hobe Paibe Santosa. Simply hearing submissively will free one's heart from all faults of ignorance. Thus one will active deep love for Krishna. This is the path of peace. See how important. Last verse. Chaitanya Charita hai Amritara Siddhu Kanna mana Titta Kare Yara Ekabindu. The life and characteristic of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are exactly like the ocean of nectar. One drop of which can please the mind. So how important Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hearing? Anyone who desires to cross over the ocean of nescience, please hear the great faith of life and characteristic of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is real celebration. Not like that having Ekadasi Prasadam, watching drama, that is all about Chaitanya Chaitamrita. Next day, very rushingly going back because tomorrow I am to have office. This is not the way. In this way, 100 of life after life, we come, Gaura Purnima come, we still here. We say that you can go back. Anyone who desires to cross over the ocean of nescience, please hear this great faith, the life and characteristic of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Henna prema Chaitanya dila jatha tatha jagai madai pajanta anyara. Don't think that, oh, I am not pure. Henna prema Chaitanya dila jatha tatha jagai madai pajanta anyara ki kasa. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed love of Godhead to even the jagai madai. What to speak about us? He will give, but you have to hear. Condition, you have to hear little. Without hearing, how? Thank you very much. If any question, any comment, any concern, any correction on this subject matter, it's all about the Bonafide hearing, nothing else. Hearing is the gateway to liberation. Oral Tantra Srimad ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanand.